everybody. Got a world premiere, first time this thing's ever hitting the airwaves here. This might be the coolest little mini home I think I've ever seen. Welcome everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV. I was invited down here to Grand Design today. All they told me is they wanted me to see something new. What they didn't tell me is that we were going to get a chance to put the camera for the first time ever on the new Lineage M Series 25TK. People always ask, what do those letters stand for? Most of the time they mean absolutely nothing, or it's just kind of pseudo-random. This means twin king bed system. You've got what I call a twin to king vertible bed back there, but every little nook and cranny of this has been really carefully curated. Like even that bed, most builders of twin to king beds like this, a lot of times the beds are short, especially in motorized or even towable, but these are dual 36-inch wide by 80-inch long beds with a power headboard incliner, so you can sit back there and watch your smart TV if you want to. I think this RV only has 3 of them. It's got more TVs per square foot than, well, my house, basically. But also, you've got a middle conversion plank that can make that one giant mega bed. Now, the problem with a lot of these twin to king vertible beds, and pardon the construction noise in the back, they're actually still building out the plant that we're in right now, but the problem with a lot of these twin to king vertible beds is there's no hanging storage. Well, they came up with a solution for that. But the coolest thing on this RV to me is the bathroom. It's very European. Basically, there's 6 different European countries represented in the bathroom of this RV alone. It can be a walk-through middle hallway. Hallways are the biggest waste of space in any floor plan, so they made the hallway do something. It can be a standing rain shower. It can be a dry bath. It can be a wet bath. It's fully enclosed, but it's also wide open. It's completely bonkers how they did it. We have 600 watts of factory standard solar, factory standard Starlink built into the roof now. Mercedes 4500 chassis instead of 3500. 310 amp hour Lithionics battery standard in this, and just a laundry list of other crazy cool things. I can't wait to show you this thing. Let me know what you think about it, and if you appreciate how apparently we're getting you the first look at this footage, hit that subscribe button. Let's go. And there is a lot of really cool, fun, interesting, unique things. By the way, when we were outside, I had my noise-canceling microphone blocking out the construction noise, and you probably still heard a little bit of it. I have taken my noise-canceling microphone off, and basically this microphone that I'm using now hears everything. I'm going to stop talking for a second. Just listen, please. That same construction's going on outside. You can't hear it. Also, I've got the air conditioner running right now. It's a freaking icebox in here. That's part of the reason I'm wearing my vest. They have a very cool air system on this. First of all, that's a residential air filter. I have it partially pulled out just so that you could see it, so I didn't forget to talk about it. It doesn't always stick out like that. Notice too that everything has like a square theme. You have straight line air diffusers. You have your Rockford Fosgate system in here. They put square magnetic release covers on the speakers. There is a subwoofer system in this. If you are an audiophile, this frickin' cranks, dude. And we're going to come back and check out all of this and a lot of nitty-gritty detail. But if you've seen other small motorhomes, you've seen layouts that are very similar to this before. And don't get me wrong, it's not bad. But what I want to showcase for you is what makes this RV a little more unique. So I'm going to give you a slow 360 here, and then we're really going to I can't even speak focus first. Focus first. I sound like the Swedish chef. Focus first. We're going to focus first on the bathroom and the bedroom, because these are the 2 things that I think really identify and like give this RV its signature calling card. Because if you look at this, by North American conventional RVing standards, this looks weird. You've got a shower in the ceiling in the middle of a hallway. Like, what the crap is even going on here? Like, for this amount of money, they expect me to deal with a wet bath? Well, good news, Carol Baskin. We got a guy to walk you through it.
Hi, I'm Michael Hums, product manager for Grand Design RV's Class C motorhomes. Today I'm going to show you the 25TK Aqua Haven shower. It's going to be a little different than what people are used to seeing, and that's the whole point of this. In this area right here, we decided to use some unused space, which is your hallway, Traditionally in a twin bed model, you get a pretty small shower. So what we wanted to do was take this area and we made what would someone might consider a wet bath. You know, you got all aluminum cabinets, you got a porcelain stool. You know, the nice thing, there's a good looking guy right there. So, you know, you've got your sink and shower in here, but I can take this and with these tambored doors, we can separate this off. Now I'm actually in the shower area. We light it. We've got a shower head over top. We've got a blender valve in case we want to use the shower wand right here. You can take this, turn it this way. Now I've got a 36 by 32 shower. I can take this and come this way. Hold on, Josh, there's a secret. I can take this, open it up, get a shower beer. Okay? Okay. But the good news is, you've got this huge area right here that it's not a wet bath. I still have a vent in here. I still have heat and air. It's very well lit. It's bright on the inside. It's different. You have to understand what you're getting into. The whole point of this floor plan is give you a big bed, a big shower, big storage, a big sofa. Those are some of the areas that we saw that our competitors were reducing things to try and fit as much as they could into a floor plan. I took your hallway and made it into a shower.
So, quick question. Like, you have that partition. I can close off the toilet.
Yeah.
What if I want to sit to bathe? Is it going to be a problem if I don't do that? Like, if I'm a bigger person, if I need more space, is that okay?
So the nice thing about this is we've made it so that everything in here could be wet. So you've got aluminum cabinets. You've got Phylon walls on the inside when you close this thing off.
Phylon is fiberglass, for those of you who don't know.
Yep. So the nice thing about it is this whole area can get wet. The way it's designed, everything drains into the shower pan. You walk on this teak floor, and then below you is where you're going to find the drain, the HEPA valve, and then that goes right into the gray tank. So it's pretty neat how this is set up. Take a tour through here if you would, Josh.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mike.
Now, Mike said there was a handsome guy staring at him in the mirror in there. All I see is this creepy dude that keeps trying to watch me in the bathroom. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, this is different. Like I said, I wanted to focus on this first because it's so different. I also want to mention, I'm literally standing directly under the air conditioner. Remember how I talked about how quiet it was in here? I'm going to shut up again. That's directly under the air conditioner right now. It's exceptionally quiet. I have zero noise cancellation on this camera or microphone or editing or anything like that. Also, part of the reason we were drowning out that construction noise outside is because this has the dual layer Euro acrylic windows. So it just organically drowns out noise. Now, this might be a love-hate thing. And if you hate it, the cool news is that you don't have to do anything with it. But twin to king bed arrangements typically have no hanging closet storage. So they created some under one of the beds. And basically it takes, you know, you have to lean and push down on that to close. So it's not like if you load it up with clothes, it's not going to constantly just fall on you and be annoying. Another thing that they noticed is they had this open pocket here. This is going to change a little bit for production versus the prototype that we're in. They're going to actually create a step right here so that when we convert this over into king bed mode, if you're not Johnny Longlegs like me, it makes it a little bit easier for you to navigate. But I like to be real. Let's not mince words. If you want to use that as a hanging storage closet, it means that you kind of are going to have to sort of make the bed every time you get in and out of that. It's not necessarily ideal. It just is what it is, you know. I also want to mention, again, these are 36-inch wide by 80-inch long beds. They are actual residential length beds, and they're wide enough that a good-sized American adult can actually have some space back there. And you have the power headboard actuators on either side right here so that if you want to be able to sit up, maybe like you've got a little bit of a snoring problem. You prefer to have your head elevated a little bit. You know, sleep number beds do that. You can kind of do that in here. Now, the bedroom is very symmetrical with this twin to king vertical bed arrangement. You have household and USB outlets up top on both sides. Some CPAP machines can utilize those pockets. Some that, you know, have moisture, condensation, something like, I'm not a CPAP user, so apologies. I don't have all the technology memorized down there. I just know that there's some you're not supposed to have above your head. Anyway, now back here, you also have this big XL vent fan so that if you just want to have the windows open, you can have lots and lots of airflow here. I'm having a little bit of a trick with the camera angle because the TV's sticking out a little bit. They realized when they built this prototype, that's annoying. So they're going to reset some things to get that TV totally hidden back there behind the wall. As we work our way down here, the one side has hanging closet storage, whereas this side down here gives us dresser space. And holy crap, are those things deep. These are also, I just noticed, this is all finished off, dovetail constructed drawer work right here. Now, in this prototype, the vendor who originally created this middle conversion piece, I guess, kind of missed something on the measurements. What they decided when they go into production, this is actually going to have a couple cup holders right here, but this is also a loose object. Nothing says you have to have that there. So I want to let you know the bottom side is going to change a little bit. I also want to let you know that when you convert it over into King mode, the actual production version's not gonna, the middle section of this ride's just a little bit too tall. That's gonna get addressed, essentially. That's why they make these prototypes. But it gives you that opportunity to kind of convert the bedroom around to camp your way. And crawling my chicken nugget dad bod up here, giving you a look around, I just discovered some more household outlets up in that corner that I wasn't necessarily expecting. I also really like the control pad that you have right here. Like you can your whole bedroom lighting, the lights, like your reading lights, the vent fan above us, it's all able to be controlled right there. And again, that is another one of those handy smart TVs. Now, back to the living room, the kitchen, and the cockpit area. I don't normally start in a bedroom and a bathroom on an RV like this, but that is the thing that I think is the most interesting and unique differentiating factor on this RV. Let's start up top here. Well, I forgot there's a little bit of a step there. Keep that in mind. We, of course, do have a power blackout shade for that front overhead cab there. We're just going to kind of start from the top front, work our way down and around. They also have Cobra, if you remember G.I. Joe. That is cab over ram bunk, or cab over bunk ram air. Yeah, spelling. You think the alphabet's in that order because of that song? Anyway, basically, like you can see your air conditioning system up here, your central air diffuser, which, by the way, you can control. Like with these handy little guys, you can change the angle of it, shut the vents, all kinds of cool stuff. But then it routes around the side here so that behind the bunk privacy curtain, you still have dedicated air coming up to that 350-pound rated forward cab bunk. Now, there's a couple things up top there. Of course, you've got the little sleeper conversion plank, as well as that little miniature telescopic ladder so that you don't have to, like, I don't know, do a Olympian high jump to reach out there. But there was also a couple of these big plank things that you saw. Those are the sofa swivel stands. Now, over here in the seating, you have several different options. Today, we're looking at the power recline wall-hugging theater seat. There's also a dinette option if you so choose. The thing is, these tables are huge. They're actually functional. So many of the little swivel stands in RVs are not. The secret in the sauce is that there's actually an extra support peg under there that it's just rubber. It rests on the armrest in the middle, the center console, which does mean this is a forced population control theater seat, but it also means you can actually use those stands without worrying about busting your cup holders. So like I said, power, recline wall hugger theater seat right here. Notice it also does have the seatbelt function, so these are mobile friendly. Again, you have a choice between sofa or dinette. You also have, I think it's called ultra fabric, ultra leather, something like that. But if you're laying back here and you want to kind of watch TV, it actually has a little head incline option as well, very similar to like a lot of residential seating. Now, all of the cabinet doors are actually imported from Italy. They have the very aircraft style hardware on them. You know, where you actually, what's nice is like, especially the cabinets that are lower, it'll be like dog collar and shin friendly because there's nothing sticking out when you don't want it. And they all defy gravity a little bit. But let's talk about these windows because look, and I've seen these dual pane Euro acrylic windows before. First of all, the sound dampening you get having that they're not doing construction now. Of course, they quit when I get ready to open the window because why not? But the sound dampening, if you want a quiet camping experience between the air conditioner and this thing, it's just so... There's times that I'll go in the basement of my house just to sit there and just go, like, just the constant noise of all day, every day. Sometimes it just feels like it builds up on me, you know? Most manufacturers won't put these on a slide side like this. And I mean, you cannot get more airflow than that. But another thing, they put the blackout shade up from the bottom, which I know people like. They have the little bug screen up top. This is another one of those things that's easy to miss, is how fine of a mesh this little bug screen here is. We don't really get them up here like around Michigan, but I know some of my southern cousins, you get no-see-ums, tiny little bugs that basically you can't see. These screens seem to work pretty good even on no-see-ums, which is really nice. Now, if you're like, yeah, but what if this thing is sticking out and I go to close up my slide? The control panel will be like, hey, don't do that. Moving on from there up to the cockpit area, obviously you've got the swivel round seats. You might notice how the headrest of the seat on the left is kind of flipped down. It's not broken. It actually has a miniature hidden safe in the headrest. Both of them do, actually. A little combination lock thing that you can utilize there to, I don't know, if you got like an extra watch or something. And I'm sure it's not that nobody could take the stupid thing, but it just makes it a little bit more difficult. Oops, this is my fault. I left this is the front windshield shade and the side window shade for the cab area here, so that, you know, when you get to your destination, if you want to totally block this out and get full privacy, you can. One of the other things I've noticed, I don't know if you're supposed to do it or not, but my fat butt's always been able to do it and get away with it. I like these big overhead pockets right here. They're hefty enough. I'm not saying I would do a pull up and a chin up off them weighing what I weigh right now, but you can actually kind of, you know, help get yourself out of this little cab area right here. Now, the other thing I really want to point out is the shape of the nose cap. I'll probably talk about this again outside, but I want you, when you are, like, this is your view literally from the driver's seat, right? When you are in a bunch of different RVs, I want you to try to look up. Can you, in a lot of RVs, can you see the stoplight? Can you see the highway exit sign? Or do you have to duck way down and squint your eyes? Because of the shape of their front nose cap, this one is actually very easy to see and navigate. There's just little things you don't even realize on this. I always recommend take a motorhome on a test drive, because that's the kind of stuff you don't even realize. This is a imported door, comes to us also from Italy. There's several different Italian things in here, but there's some German stuff. There's all kinds of different European countries represented in here. This is very much a European RV entry door, where you do have, I love the bottom up privacy shade. I love that people are getting that figured out right there. I like the bigger entry handle, but also if you want to, you know, enjoy some airflow, keep the bugs out, we do have a full screen right here, so we have that capability as well. Now, it kind of overlaps with the entry door a little bit, but thankfully we do have that flip up counter extension. It's even countertop flush. I will get that open for you in just a moment. First of all, though, a quick peek at all the kitchen space and cabinetry. I was leaning way over, like if I sit straight in this theater seat and look up, this is our view. So very good, easy viewing entertainment center. The right-hand seat, I'm in the left currently. The right-hand seat's even a little bit better. So overall, I think that's personally very, very good. But there is a deceptive amount of storage in here. So first of all, obviously that big smart TV pops its way up. But one of the things I haven't spent a lot of time talking about is this M-Series actually now has standard Starlink equipped on it. You'll need to get your subscription package, but because they kind of planned for that, they built, I think, really smart locations for all the hardware where it doesn't interfere with the rest of your stuff. And because they installed it, you don't have to worry about, like, how do I fish wires through the roof to get down to the modem and the power source and all that crap. It's just done. It's just done, which is really nice. Now, this is a 10 cubic foot, 12 volt compressor fridge freezer. In this class of motorhome, there's a lot of 8s out there. Also, this I love. This is just kind of this extra little pocket space right here, but basically a little mini pantry, but it's in kind of a tricky spot, so the pantry comes out to you. Here's a little pro tip for you. On these bigger handles, make sure you push in the middle. If you push on the sides, it just doesn't like to work as well. You push in the middle, it works every time. So just a little thing that I've learned through experience. And the bottom freezer drawer basically popping out to us is very, you know, cool and residential. There, in case you're wondering what's below it, it looks like a drawer. It's actually just access to various service and wiring items. You have your 3-in-1 electric air fryer convection electric oven with microwave also. And as we work our way back here, it's the dumbest thing, but the fact that they actually included a spot for a wastebasket in here, it's those little details that I always go looking for. And again, countertop space is limited, but that counter flush solid surface extension really helps. Now the command system on this, it doesn't quite need a PhD to operate, thankfully. But one of the things that I love on here is this keeps track of all the diagnostics of the RV. If you do encounter the need for service, through that touchpad, you can see how many hours you've used the RV. You know, how many times have you cycled the slide out? Like everything you need to know. Oh my gosh, I forgot to mention. This is actually a bigger sofa than what most manufacturers offer in something like this. And because of the efficiencies that they pulled off, like in the bathroom, they were able to accomplish that. Now you have to turn it on to close the slides, but again, construction noise. I just discovered, as soon as you turn it on, it pulls the awning closed. Just so that you're not like, oops, forgot to do that, you know? Like if you pull into a Walmart parking lot overnight or something, I don't know. But anyway, with the slide closed here, looking at the traveling, I call it road mode access, I'm going to do a body size cab test in a minute. But these Mercedes chassis usually fit me very well. Frankly, everything but the like E-Series Ford chassis, I usually have plenty of space. Slide my way up in here. When the slides are closed, you can utilize every single stupid thing in the coach. So if you do have that overnight stay over at a truck stop, you can come in, sit down, you can take a shower, you can use a bathroom, you can turn on the air. I mean, you can do everything in this RV without ever touching that slide button, which is, I think, what you really want for a traveling rig like this. Now, keep in mind, you do step up a couple times, actually, to get back to the bedroom, but usually you're climbing into the bed to lay down. So I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. But I wanted to show you a front to back to front again kind of thing. And, you know, what looks like a rear view mirror is, of course, the rear view camera, which I think a lot of RVs have, but it's organic. It makes sense. It works very, very well. But how does an American-sized person actually fit in this thing? First of all, where I'm at right now, I know this is kind of difficult for me to showcase. Like, this is a little tight for me. All of your controls are over here. They actually give you 3 different like preset driver settings. And holy cow, this thing, we're going back really far here. Like I have to reach forward to hit that thing. Like this actually goes back so far that I have to reach my tiptoes out to hit the pedals. I mean, you've got serious space in this. So if you are a person of a little larger or smaller stature, it's going to fit you just fine. I'm going to have to mama bear this thing kind of right in the middle here. And even this is still a little bit far from me, but everything being power adjustable, everything's simple, easy. I like this. Now I'm about to turn a bunch of heads here because I always like to do a little bit of a horn test. So let's take some bets. Do we think this is going to be like the big angry horn or the grocery getter horn? Let's find out. Oh, that's like a clown car.
Okay, so as is always the case with the motorized unit, there's far more weights and measures involved as compared to a common towable. Because if you think about it, you have everything to worry about with a vehicle and everything to worry about with a towable RV all mixed into one. So I want to give you a second extended look at the weights and measures here. Now, one of the key differences on the Lineage M Series is that it actually rides on the Mercedes 4500 chassis. Most builders of something like this are on a 3500. What it allows them to do is basically build a heavier foundation on this. It gives them about an extra 1,000 pounds to play with. So instead of building the house structure where the RV portion attaches to the chassis, instead of making that out of lighter weight components because they don't have to, they build it out of all steel. That also allows them about an extra 500 pounds of cargo carry capacity on this. Now, one of the things I also want to really point out here is that you have literally 10 different exterior looks available on this. There's like 4 solid colors and like 6 paint packages available. So keep in mind, you might go a while before you see 2 of these that look exactly alike. I don't know. Something that's interesting, I think, is what they did with their nose cap. If you look at this, The cab over cap, it's almost like it's somewhere between a B and a C. It's kind of that, like, not, I don't know, it's just sort of unique. But what I thought about, when you sit in the driver's seat, you don't have that big cab over blocking your view. So like when you're trying to read road signs or see the stoplight, it just enhances your driving visibility. I think that's kind of an important thing. Also, you see that's an all one-piece molded cap, and it kind of sleeves over things in a way that it moves all the seams from an area of high stress to low stress. Basically, you're moving leak points from a more frequent point to a far less frequent point. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that all day long, of course. Now, this does have a leveling system, which a lot of rigs this size don't. Like, you'll find, you look at the price tag, you're like, oh, those Lineage, they run more money. Well, yes, they also have, I guess you could say, a higher trim package, more equipment on them, and naturally that's going to have the thing. Now, you have a Rockford Fosgate sound system inside and out. The outside doesn't have the subwoofers that the inside does, but it doesn't sound like the worst thing I've ever heard either. And the speakers are down low enough that I don't hate them. Now, there's a bunch of other little details I really like on this. Like, you've seen the Girard armless awnings on coaches before. It's not that you've never seen it, but you know, hey, as long as we're out here, I'll go ahead and showcase for you all the patio space. You know, again, if it's the storage, the road mode, the awning space, if you appreciate all this extra stuff, I don't know, just let us know we're doing a good job, because there's a lot of extra time with it. Oh, hold on. There's there's stuff you can't see. Like, you see fiberglass on the front wall here. That's normal. What you don't see is that there's actually full steel backers behind it. Remember how we had that chassis discussion? Even these running boards, these are a little bit wider. They're also steel. They just cover them with fiberglass to make them pretty, essentially. Notice the radius curvature work on that entry door, because the door, it's from Italy. It's a Euro door. We call it a Euro door because it comes from Europe. Now, we are in one of the final prototypes, basically. So, like, for quick testing purposes, they have this all built out right here. This is currently metallic. That will become rotocast, so plastic waterproof. Now, all of your like electrical system components, it's basically all included in this one little space right here. And maybe that doesn't seem like it matters. Like, who cares? You know, like, let me get this open. You've got your 310 amp hour Lithionics battery. You've got your, you know, all your breakers and everything here. So, like, if something pops, you can just pop it back in, figure it out. But the thing is, like, all of that wiring, your 1800 watt inverter, all that stuff is right here in one spot. There are incredibly short wiring runs feeding that. Reason that's important. Longer wires cause, you know, basically signal attenuation and resistance through the power line and power loss. So this is the most effective, efficient, and easiest to wire system for fewer human errors. Now, did you notice the belt line lighting kick off right there? That's a cool little feature that they have on these. Like, basically, if you shift in reverse, if you, you know, you flick on your awning lights at night, all that stuff will kick on. Now, in the prototype here, it's basically on a timer. My understanding is that will become available. Also, here on the prototype, this is our outdoor propane grill quick connect, which is fine. But that's going to move down so that belt line can extend a little bit further. This I thought was really cool. Basically, cargo e-bike storage, you know, under the twin to king vertible bed system, we just have this gigantic cargo space. Now, one of the bits of feedback I had, and the camera's helping us here, but it's actually fairly dark in here. There's only these two little lights. I suggested taking like one of those little rope lights like from the awning in here just to help me be able to see stuff at night. And they said, sure. But if you look at this, you see how you've got all these like adjustable tie down straps, like the entire seam up here. These are individual tie down spaces. So it doesn't matter what kind of cargo you're going to put in this thing. You can actually keep everything in place right where you want it, like with these little guys right here. Now, this will also become rotocast, and when this becomes rotocast, it will have an inset, and there will be an outdoor picnic table stored in there. You've seen that probably before in some other motorhomes, but that will be here. They're also going to add another one of those bike cargo tie-downs on that edge right there, just to kind of help make sure you have... It's better to have more tie-downs than not enough. Now, if we back up here, I'm right next to the electrical junction box of the factory, so I got to walk around a safety barricade because OSHA, you know. You do have a full rear cap here. There's some really cool stuff going on. Of course, you have backup camera like you would expect, but you see these tall black lines right here. Like, you can obviously see tail and brake lights below them. These guys skirting the Lineage logo are additional stoplights, so that down here, where they have their new Gen Y receiver hitch on the back of this thing, 3,500 pound tow rating, by the way. If you have something in that, like a bike rack or a cargo pod or anything that would block these taillights, when you hit the brakes, people can still see your driving intentions. And that is something I have been begging more RV manufacturers, towable and motorized, to do. And they just absolutely nailed it here the first time. You have your Truma water heater there next to the furnace outlet. Your power inlet on this thing, your power cord area, basically has a circuit analyzer, so it'll tell you, like, do you have an open ground, a bad, like, is it reverse polarity or something? So before you fry your RV, you can get the thing unplugged. I also still recommend a separate, like, circuit analyzer to go along with your RV. That's just a personal recommendation. The slide awning up here, doing a little bit of extra protection, keeping a little reduced maintenance routine available for us. But the slide system, I want to make sure I point out for you. This is the new Sure slide system. If you saw my video on the Series F, the Super C, that's what this is right here. So basically, if there's a Schwintek system. Then there's a step above that called Slim Rack. And a lot of people have been really happy with Slim Rack. This is another heavy-duty level above called Sure Slide, is what this is right here. And again, they're using it on their giant Super C. Another thing that's interesting, like, you see the dual-pane Euro acrylic windows, which just open for the crazy awesome airflow. They actually put them on the slide side as well. What that means is that window can tilt open. So you need to be aware of that when you go to close the slide out. Here's a cool thing, though. When you open the slide out and awning mechanical controls page on your command center, it will say, hey, have you checked to make sure you've closed your windows? And basically, have you cleared obstructions before we start moving motors? So it gives you a quick little oops reminder. You know what I mean? Now, you notice how you've got your stinky slinky sewer tube over there in the upper right corner. You have the enclosed gate pull valves. You've also got this 4,500 NPS generator over here. If you're not familiar, it's basically built, I think, by, like, Yamaha of Canada or something like that. It's a Yamaha plan that they're just not allowed to call a Yamaha, basically, but it comes, like, with a Yamaha owner's manual and key fob. So there's all that. Oh, geez, hold on. There's so many details to talk about. Like, we actually do have, you can see the jacks are down right now, the leveling system here. For ride and handling, you have Hellwig helper springs and Bilstein shocks. If you're not familiar with those, basically, the goal of this thing is to make getting to your destination just as enjoyable as being at your destination, is essentially the idea. But there's a major thing in here. Here's your docking center. I haven't showcased this side yet. One of the things to really point out is how they're using all shark bite connectors on their plumbing. So that's like 3 levels above the RV industry coding standard. This is also a heated cargo cavity. Currently, there's a heat vent down under here, but they're actually going to move that up here somewhere for production so that you can actually get to see it a little bit. Now, the thing is, I really want you to be able to get to see the roof. It is prepped for a telescopic removal ladder. It doesn't by default have one. So I think I'm going to go drag a picnic table over here and stand on it and just see if I can reach above and show you something. So stand by. Let's see what we come up with. So first of all, obviously it's prepped for the telescopic removal ladder. Quick note, we just have a ladder out on display that they have here at the factory for testing purposes. But up on that bracket, there's a QR code. You scan it, it'll be like, do you want the 10 foot, the 12 foot, the 14 foot, the whatever foot, so you can make sure you get the right size. You don't want those ladders straight vertical. Little RV pro tip from your Uncle Josh. Basically, for every 3 feet up, you want 1 foot out, or 4 feet up, you want 1 foot out. 3.5 feet up, you want a foot out. It's supposed to be on an angle. Okay, anyway, when you get up there, there's some cool stuff that you'll see. First of all, obviously, you see that full cargo tie-down rack all the way around the top of it. The other thing, though, is you have the a 600-watt solar package, factory standard in here, helping to recharge that 310 amp hour Lithionics battery system. Remember, you have an 1800-watt inverter that'll run a bunch of this stuff in the RV, but remember also, you have a 4500 generator on this thing. You can go pretty much wherever you want. You don't need massive, insane electrical system. You have all the electricity sources potentially available there. You may have also noticed a factory standard Starlink system. Here's where it gets really interesting. Look back at that footage. What didn't you see? You didn't see self-leveling sealant like the rest of the RV industry uses. They call that their Titan seal gasket system, something like that, but it's an all gasketed seal system, and this is not like new technology to the world. It's just the RV industry has never been willing to spend the money on it to create an easier, proactive solution for a customer. We're starting to see that across a few manufacturers, but it's only the really premium things with a really heavy focus on the end user customer experience. Not just how cheap can we make it and how quick can we sell one, but how can we keep it so that it stays out of the shop and it stays on the trails and on the roads and in your driveway. That's the difference that you're looking at here. And there's a lot of, like the shark bite connectors. They could build this cheaper. They could absolutely build this cheaper. They're trying to make it better. That comes with a price tag though. So as a consumer, you have a choice. Which way do you want to go with it? You know, I appreciate that a manufacturer's trying to make it better. So once again, apologies for the construction noise in the background, but hey, I appreciate that. I'm going to say thanks, Grand Design, for getting us down here. Folks, if you appreciate the footage, maybe drop them a little note. I will drop you some links in the video description to double check things like at least MSRP and availability. I don't know that we're actually able to publish our discounted sale pricing on one of these right here. But our local, we don't sell for MSRP. Keep that in mind. Now, if you look over my shoulder, we've got some other cool things coming. I know some other people have had some video footage of this out already, so I wanted to get this out first since no one's seen this before, and I thought you'd enjoy seeing something new. And if you appreciate everything we're doing for you down here today, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and remember your earplugs with the construction noise, everyone.